Good evening.
And welcome to another episode of Cool Album Covers. I'm Mark Major.
Rich Bachelor here.
Arabia.
The magic of the mystical East. That's why Eddie is here. Eddie the Sheik Kochak.
These first three records are all from my collection. I have Strictly Belly Dancing Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 1, much better record. It's pretty decent. It's pretty good. It's good to put on if you have people.
Greek people
you have to entertain.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I would pass on the Volume 2 and probably anything later than that. I guess they made 6 of these.
Yeah, by the time all the classic stuff was over with and they hired David Coverdale as their vocalist, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know these albums, dude. Like, look at the picture itself is like, let the sun shine. Like, it's
like some sort of Broadway musical going on around Eddie
called
Kochak.
Strictly Belly Dancing.
Right.
It's actually a musical from the 80s, despite the fact that the original album was made clearly... dear God.
Volume 2, they got better tits on the cover, but the women are all, again, really heinously ugly.
Depends on how you feel about Grandma. My God. You got the Papasan chair from Uncle Jam Wants You, the Funkadelic album, but instead occupied by what I must imagine is Eddie Kochak, like, hey there, folks. I'm just wearing the tux here, hanging out, being classy.
I think both the chair and the fern were taken from, like, the hotel lobby of wherever they were staying at.
Yeah, the Beirut Sheridan.
This one, Belly Dance, the Wild Music, and the How To. Pickwick reissued it from Everest Records. I'm willing to bet that this actually was recorded in, like, the 50s, late 50s.
You'll be at the summit of your tastes with Everest Records.
It is terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The sound quality is really bad.
It does feature what is clearly a very drunk Rita Moreno from the Electric Company in an off moment at a children's television workshop Christmas party in 1975.
There's a man behind the curtain with a gun forcing her to dance.
I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
The Seventh Veil. This one is yours, actually.
That's
I asked
mine right
if you
there.
had any extra Arabia stuff, and you whipped this out.
I had a little spare. Artie Barsamian, was probably like, the house band at the Sheraton in Beirut in 1948. And his orchestra thing is just ridiculous, because it's him and like 2 guys. The Artie Barsamian trio would be more like it, but even that sounds stupid, because really it just sounds like a bunch of guys squatting out in the dunes, playing their indigenous instruments and sounding, above all else, like the desert wind at night, which is poetic, okay? That's awesome. Right about the time the belly dancing craze hit America, it's like, hey, you know what? My cousin Artie.
He plays belly dance music.
Yeah.
The cover, then, you think is misleading, or?
Well, yeah, I'd say that is probably, actually who that probably is.
No, whom is that?
What do you
Mr.
want?
Bachelor.
If you recall, most of the record label heads in those days, or the record company heads in those days, were indeed guys from the Middle East. Ahmet Ertegun at Columbia.
Correct.
Which this is not, because that's like, I believe, a Pickwick or perhaps Cap production. I forget. Well, let's move on.
This is probably one of my favorites. Couple of reasons. The record itself, the actual music on it, I love it. It's really kooky.
I bet it's awesome.
60s rock with Middle Eastern. Sometimes it's more of one genre, more of another. It switches back and forth. There is like a Barry sax busting out Middle Eastern rock rhythms. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
And it's not done like all wacky, like, hey, we're Frank Zappa, we can play really good, let's be wacky. Seem to come off as like jazz guys. They want to be taken serious. The cover,
on the other hand,
is just, I don't know.
Look at this. Here I am, like I'm a big fat orb laying on the ground with 2 hand-shaped hands things and something that could be perhaps considered feet. And up on the camel there, like, hello, I'm a stereotype about oil bladder.
The 2 guys are extras from like a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a Charlie Brown Christmas towards the darker years, where the oil embargo is happening. Charlie Brown,
a Charlie Brown oil embargo.
Yeah, it's like it's an oil embargo, Charlie Brown, and here's this Middle Eastern stereotype, which, as always, with all stereotypes, a lot of the actual people involved are more than glad to act out for you. Well, anyway.
You're saying if there's a buck to be made?
Well, I was thinking more to the point that, like,
or are you thinking attention horns?
Stereotypes don't come from nowhere.
Right.
Like, the reason why we stereotyped a number of Middle Eastern people in the 70s into that is because a fair amount of them actually look like that, and if you know what I mean, acted like that. Come all high-stepping into town on your damn camel, trying to tell me when I can buy my goddamn gas that is mine by right of military conquest. I mean, come on. Berberian.
I think actually he was Armenian.
He's not from the Middle East at all. He's from Asia Minor.
Right.
Definitely an Armenian name because his last name sounds like a nationality. And that is the only guide to whether or not you are Armenian.
That and leg hair. Let's
Yeah,
conclude
that girl was so cute.
another episode.